Welcome to another Wednesday Night Live of the New Mexico Philharmonic. And tonight, my guest is an exciting pianist from Milan, Italy, Federico Gad Crema. He just finished his master's degree from the Milan Conservatory of Music, but he has also studied at the LA Coburn Music School. And he's won first prize at the Entrée du Mortier competition in Belgium, and also has been a prize winner at Casa Grande competition in Terni, Italy. And most notably, he's been also the second prize winner of the International Olga Kern Piano Competition in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So let's start our show by listening and watching Federico perform Chopin Etude Opus 10, number 12. And here's my guest for tonight's show, Federico Gad Crema. Good evening, Federico.
Good evening.
Great to have you on our show. Are you speaking from Milano?
Yes, at the moment I'm in my house in Milano, Italy, and it's absolutely my pleasure to be here.
Well, you have been with us just 3 years ago for the Olga Kern International Piano Competition. You did a great performance of Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto with me at the finals, which we will hear at the end of this show. But it's lovely to see you again. Is life back in Milano with concerts and the opera? How is the musical scene in Italy right now?
Oh, we're slowly reopening our concert halls. There's still lots of restrictions, and you know, it's not an easy time, but we're trying to move on, especially with the COVID-free passes and stuff. We can actually perform again, and things are starting to get back to normal, sort of.
And has everybody been vaccinated in Italy? Have you yourself, all the younger generation also, everybody's fully vaccinated?
Yes, in Italy, the situation is a little behind schedule, but I think we're around 60, 70% of the people here fully vaccinated.
Wonderful. That's great news that life is slowly getting back worldwide. And we just heard you perform a beautiful version of the Chopin Etude, Opus 10, number 12. Do you have a favorite repertoire that you love to perform?
At the moment, actually last week, I just performed Chopin Concerto number 2. And probably Chopin is my favorite composer. I mean, at least his music is definitely the music I feel closer to my heart. So right now, I would probably say Chopin.
Well, you have to meet my boy. This is Joy. He's actually my daughter's dog. But every time I'm doing these shows, he insists on coming. He's such a show off. So this is Joy. Meet Federico Joy. And he just loves participating. Chopin Concerto number 2 is, I mean, both concertos are some of my favorite piano concertos. You know, I mean, even though the orchestral part, it's not the most exciting like the Brahms or, you know, a Prokofiev concerto, but I love it. The subtleness of it, the delicacy, and it's a very challenging concerto to accompany. What orchestra did you play it with?
It was a chamber orchestra, FUG, here in Italy. It was sort of a last minute project since I had to do some recitals that got postponed because of COVID restrictions. So I needed to play that concerto and I just jumped in the opportunity. But I absolutely agree with you. Chopin piano concertos are absolutely gorgeous, but it's so difficult because of all the freedom the pianist has. It's sort of, sometimes it's so easy to get lost as a pianist in all those notes, but we still had to find sort of a balance, you know, a structure. And it's very, we all have to play sort of a chamber music concerto.
It's so beautifully composed because many times, especially in the slow movement, it just sounds like the soloist is improvising right then. It doesn't really sound like this music has been written. It just flows so naturally.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Go ahead.
There is this natural flow of Chopin's music that is just incredible. It comes from nowhere, yet every note has a meaning. And in particular, the second movement, the ending of the second movement with the bassoon, I have no words for it.
And speaking of really outstanding music, we'll go now to a composer from Italy, from the Baroque period, Scarlatti, and you're playing excerpts from sonatas number 2 and 3. Tell us about the Scarlatti.
Well, this recording started with the pandemic, and I wanted to rediscover some of Scarlatti's less known sonatas. And it's a unique form as a sonata. It doesn't have, it's not divided into movements, it's just one movement. And though it's so rich and unique in its way, yet so musical, and I had some fun, especially in the slow one, to use the middle pedal, the sustaining pedal, which is something very unusual for Baroque music. I still think that it's sort of a Rossini opera where you have a singer and accompaniment. I think it works absolutely perfectly.
Well, let's watch this video now. Scarlatti, Sonata 2 and 3. So that was a wonderful video. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Federico. Now, what was the instrument that Scarlatti composed for originally?
Well, originally it was harpsichord, which is quite different from our modern pianos. And there's always the problem, the big question of should I play it as a historic piano or historic instrument, or should I play it as a modern instrument? And well, that probably has no answer. It's very, very complicated. But yeah, it was originally composed for harpsichord. Yet, as I mentioned earlier, I think the structure, especially of this slow one, has this singing and instrumental accompaniment that works very, very well, especially if you have an harpsichord with two claviers, with two, I don't know how you will call this part, but I think claviers. And it works perfectly because you can make differences between in the same instrument, sort of a dual.
I love listening to Scarlatti both on the harpsichord and the piano, and you know, it's great music, and any great music, also with Bach, you know, which originally composed for the harpsichord, and now, of course, it's also played on the modern piano. It sounds wonderful. And there is this fine connection between the music of the Baroque period and the Romantic period. Often it's very romantic when you see, you know, you hear the slow movements of Bach, and that could well be, you know, from a composer from the Romantic period. It's so beautiful is the melody, and so interesting the harmonies. So it works either way, I think.
Absolutely. And he has this improvisatory style that is very much different from Chopin's, but at the same time, it sort of connects the two of them. So I thought of these two clips to be together, to be presented together, and thank you so much for sharing them.
Now, the next one is the finale from Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 3. and that's a powerhouse. I mean, it's of course one of the great concertos of all time. Have you played the other Beethoven concertos?
Yes, so far I played 1, 3, and 4. I'm missing 2 and 5. It's always been a dream of mine to play one day all of them. And but so far I have to say that probably number 4 is my favorite.
You know that Olga is going to play all 5 piano concertos with me in the upcoming October for the opening of our great season of the New Mexico Philharmonic. And we're doing that on 3 consecutive days and 3 concerts. So that's going to be a wonderful marathon with Olga Kern.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. We were going to do that last year for the Beethoven celebration, its 250th birthday. But I'm glad that we get to do it now, and very much looking forward to them. Now let's watch your Beethoven 3, the grand finale of this most wonderful concerto. Amazing. That sounded fantastic, Federico. And which orchestra was that one?
That was Oscom Orchestra, Milan Conservatory Orchestra, conducted by the legendary Roberto Bado. Historic family, and wow.
Wonderful, wonderful rendering. And now you are back with your concert life, with recitals and concertos. What's up next for you?
Well, I still have a very, very busy summer. I'm not complaining, especially after the lockdown period. Absolutely. I'm very, very happy to be back on stage, back on the road. I have 2 major competitions. I have final rounds of both Leeds and Chopin competition, and practicing a lot for that too. And then I'm doing a very interesting project with my duo partner, violinist Clarissa Bevilacqua. And it's a special project that I'm not allowed to announce yet to the public, but I'm very, very excited about that. And for next season. Lots of concerts, also in the US as well. I'm going to be in San Antonio next May. Very much looking forward to it. And yeah, so lots of practice, lots of new music, lots of concerts, and lots of joy to be back.
Now, the concentration preparing for a piano competition and going on stage to perform at a competition is quite different from preparing for a solo recital or a different concert. How do you compare these two experiences of performing at competitions and performing normally at concerts?
Well, in general, I think of competitions as an opportunity to perform and to have a wider audience, because in any case, especially through big platforms, online platforms, we have the opportunity to be seen by a very, very wide audience. At the same time, as I just said, I don't think of competition just as a competition, just like the Olympics that they just finished. They're a way to express ourselves, our ideas, our emotions, and I think that it has to be a very natural way of preparing and presenting our performances. At the same time, you have, as a competitor, you have to be much more responsible and to really dig really deeply into the music in order to be prepared 360 degrees around music, around the composer, around everything. Everything needs to be absolutely perfect.
And speaking of performing at competitions, the next video we're going to watch, and with that we are going to finish our show tonight, is from the finals of the last Olga Kern International Piano Competition in Albuquerque. And here you're performing with the New Mexico Philharmonic under my direction. So we will watch that next. Before, I'd like to thank you, Federico, for taking part in our Wednesday Night Live. Thank you so much for participating with us. Great to see you again. We're looking forward to having you back in Albuquerque sometime in the future. And wishing you the best of luck for all the competitions and the wonderful performances you have ahead of you.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute honor. Hope to see you all very soon. I remember the warmth, special warmth of the people in New Mexico, in Albuquerque in particular. And it's been a lovely chat, and I hope you all enjoyed, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you very much, and all the very best.
Thank you, Federico. Thank you, everyone watching this show. We'll see you next week. And remember, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Good night.